And now, the time fight fans all across the globe have been waiting for. It's the MTMV main card with your man, The Voice, as always. In the opposite corner, my mano y mano, my verbal sparring partner, the dangerous one, Iron, Wildress, Ruffin. What's going on, Ruff?
I'm here, boss. I'm here. You know, it's been a rough year sports wise for Philadelphia. I
Mm,
but we ain't taking too many wins, but we got this though. We got this.
I
Um,
get it. All them losses to Slew. Everyone, the teams that y'all
oh man,
field against Slew
good buddy,
lose.
good buddy. Come on.
Then y'all losing in the
No
Super
one
Bowl.
knows any teams in St. Louis, and the St. Louis Celtics don't count because they're in Boston. So you need to go on with that. Let me give you your intro, ladies and
Losing
gentlemen. Let me
in
introduce you to the man,
baseball.
the myth, the legend. You see the halo on his head, but clearly it's not a halo. The Voice. You already starting early. You know what I mean? Pretty sure I wouldn't know you about nothing. I let you live. I let it be, but I see what you want, so it's
Well,
fine. Because
well,
this
you know,
is
we started the show a little early. And whenever we go live, it's smoke o'clock.
it's
So
smoke o'clock at all
yeah.
times, man. So it's all good. But we got a great show today. It's not too much on the card today, but we do want to get you prepared for everything that you want to see in combat sports this weekend. You know the Voice is going to prepare you and give you everything that you want to hear, and sometimes the things that you don't want to hear. So let's go ahead and get started, man. Let's go ahead and get into KOs and low blows. Now, Francis Ngannou is a free agent and apparently on the verge of possibly having one of the biggest fights against the biggest heavyweight, depending on who you ask. Eddie Hearn, let him tell you. Eddie Hearn said that recently Francis Ngannou would be a complete mismatch if he went up against the likes of Tyson Fury or Anthony Joshua. And now he's wanting to make a big fight deal with one of those giants. On top of that, Deontay Wilder has also thrown his hat in the batch, and he would love to make a fight with Francis Ngannou. Now, Francis just went from being champion to now being the most wanted man in boxing. Voice, what are your thoughts on this, and what would be the bout that you feel as though boxing fans will want and need to see the most?
Well, I think that this shows that Francis has options, and for him, it shows that making the move and leaving the UFC was a good deal, especially from what I hear as far as these new contracts are concerned. It's like they have taken away a lot of the things that fighters had before, and like even your ability to litigate. It's like if you sign this contract, you can't sue. It's like okay, this is whatever money's coming to anybody from any lawsuits, you can't get. It's like, yeah. So I think that it was good for him. And again, because of all these opportunities that he has, it's looking absolutely fantastic. Now, you spoke about Eddie Hearn. So we'll start with him. He represents Anthony Joshua. As far as that fight being a good fight for Ngannou, from a outcome standpoint, that's probably the best matchup that he could have if he is taking on one of the big three. Reason being, we know that Joshua is chinny. And what does Francis have? But power. Now, is Francis a boxer? No. Did he want to go into boxing initially? Yes, he did. Can he hit? We know that he's one of the most devastating strikers out there when it comes to power. And in your own famous words, it only takes one. So if he can hit AJ one time, he could win.
Mhm.
He could win. And we saw that when Ruiz got in there with him. All this got to do is catch him one time, and that can change everything. Now, Fury probably represents the biggest payday financially for him. That would be huge. It's a mixed rules fight, so that gives a bit more intrigue because they would have 4-ounce gloves on, yet be in a ring. And again, the money's probably there more so for Fury than it is for anyone else because Fury is one of the biggest names in boxing, if not the biggest. So, and then they have history together. Fury's last fight, who shows up in the ring saying we're going to fight, but Francis Ngannou. So you have some familiarity and obviously some kind of conversations and inner workings going on. Now, the Wilder card is I'm pardon the pun because and that definitely was not intended. So I should say, uh, yeah, pun not intended. But his card, that Wilder wild card, that is so intriguing because Wilder's the only one that said, we'll do a 1-1. You box and I'll get in the cage against you. Yeah, so the opportunity to do both is phenomenal there. Nobody else is stepping up and saying that. Something else that Wilder has on his side is that he is a PBC fighter. Well, who broadcasts PBC fights? Fox does sometimes. I think their deal may be up. Showtime has been a long time partner with PBC, and they could do it on Showtime pay-per-view. Do you know what who owns Showtime? Paramount. Do you know what Paramount also owns? Bellator. So it's kind of a built-in inroads for Francis. That I would say he has greater opportunities, greater more avenues with the Wilder possibility than the others because he's already got a built-in way of doing both and continuing his career in both. But again, who knows how things will go. My money is on the Fury fight because, like I said, they were already talking before. So if they were talking before and now he's free, the likelihood of that happening, I think, is greater than anything else. Outside of Fury imploding, which we know can happen. Outside of that, that's where my money is. But that Wilder fight has a lot of upside for Francis.
I think that Wilder fight is probably the one I want to see the most. I feel like that would just be a complete slugfest, like we've never seen before. And to see Wilder also get in the cage would definitely be intriguing. Now, the thing about Tyson Fury is Tyson Fury just seems like right now he's all over the place. He's literally just
right now.
he's literally just mentioned wanting to go back to WWE full time. Then he talked about retiring and everything else. So I did notice what you said about Anthony Joshua, though, and it's very funny because Eddie Hearn just recently stated when he spoke about Ngannou that Anthony Joshua is focused on regaining the heavyweight championship. So it'll be interesting to see how that plays out, and then to see what Ngannou does next. Because right now, clearly, all the cards are in his court. We're going to take a quick break with Ozell brand, of course. Give you that great Ozell shoe. I know Voice probably had them Jones on today. And when we come back, we have a couple different things going on. Of course, the Golden Boy fight. It's not a combat sports weekend without one. And the UFC change that just happened within the last 48 hours. We're going to talk about that. And lastly, a WBA featherweight title match is coming this weekend. So we're going to take a quick break with Ozell Brand, and we'll be right back.
It's not just about the love of the game. It's about dedication and commitment through the process and the patience to endure. There's joy in reaching your goals and peace in knowing you've done all you're supposed to do. Ozell Brand. It's not just a brand, it's a lifestyle.
There we go. Boys, how them Ozells treating you? You got any more stories for us?
No, I have not worn them in a moment. I may break them out soon though, because it's been a minute.
There we go. You get your voice Leroy on. Um, now, voice. We always talk about my favorite nicknames, and I think today I want to add another one. Crazy A. You heard it here first. Crazy A. Golden Boy Promotions is actually back with another championship implicating headlining card as Crazy A faces Luis Nery. This is going to be a 12-round WBC Super Bantamweight title eliminator, and the bout is going to be taking place live February 18th from the Fox Theater in Pomona, California, I believe.
Pomona.
Pomona. Okay. Now, Crazy A is actually riding a 7-fight win streak with 6 of those coming via KO. Nery, on the other hand, has actually rebounded with 2 wins last year after his 2021 loss to Brandon Figueroa. I believe that was actually via 7th-round knockout.
Mm-hmm.
And he's looking to reclaim the titles he lost, and a win over Crazy A could put him in the eye of that title shot. But Crazy A is literally coming in as a knockout king right now. Voice, what is your take on this bout, and what do you believe the chances are that Nery can continue to regain that form and get a shot at the titles that he recently lost?
As far as my take on the fight, I don't have a Voices Marquee matchup this week, and this could not be the Voices Marquee matchup because it is the main event. But if I had one, this would be it. And the reason being is that both fighters are known to knock people out. Crazy A is a KO machine, stopping 71% of his foes. As far as his record is concerned and his resume, the only name I saw on there was a loss, and that was Ray Vargas in a title bout. And Vargas is currently a champion. But I feel like I know I don't know if he went up in weight or not recently. I feel like he did, but don't quote me on that. He may still be at 122. But either way it goes, he lost to Ray Vargas. No, Vargas is up at 126. I'm sorry. So anyway, he lost to Ray Vargas in the title bout. This is a WBC eliminator. The winner of this bout will face the champion, or at least they'll be the mandatory. They may have to fight for an interim title because we know that the WBC champ is getting ready to fight like the biggest fight of his life. Who's the WBC champ? None other than Philly's own Cool Boy Steph. And we know he's fighting Inoue. And who knows what's going to happen with that. Let Inoue win. I don't think that Nery or Hovhannisan is going to be next on his list. So it's possible that they could be fighting for interim belt in the very near future. Absolutely. Absolutely. And like I said, they knock people out. You spoke about Pantera. You spoke about him holding the title at Super Bantamweight previously and lost it to Brandon Figueroa. Lost this very belt, the WBC belt, to Brandon Figueroa. He also held the Super Bantamweight or junior lightweight, however you want to call it. But what the 122, not the 122, but the 118 title, which is bantamweight. I'm sorry. So he also held that title. And he's fighting again to become a 2-time champ at this weight class. He wants that belt back. He's going to do everything he can. And he stops 74% of his foes. So again, I don't see this fight going past really like the 6th round. They are going to be swinging and banging. And I am very, very excited about seeing it.
it's definitely going to be an interesting fight to see, especially considering the fact that Nery has overcome so much. Even he stated some of his own mess ups along the way, but just seeing him come back and be able to get back into form and get back into championship form is going to be great. Regardless, that's going to be a great fight. That'll be that's February 18th, so make sure you tune into that. Now, and what will be the first main event for our next bout? Erin Blanchfield is literally learning how quickly things can change. Now, she was originally scheduled to face Talia Santos this weekend, but Santos was actually a late scratch due to what is actually being described as a visa issue for her cornerman, and she was replaced by Jessica Andrade. Now, this is going to be a great test for a short period of time for the undefeated Blanchfield, as Andrade is a former UFC women's strawweight champion. She's competed consistently at both, I believe, 115 and 125 in recent years.
And she even fought at 135.
Yeah, she's coming into this bout with a 3-fight win streak. And I believe she just recently had a dominant win over Lauren Murphy at UFC 283 in January. Now, Blanchfield with a win could be next in line for that UFC Women's Flyweight Championship with a win over Andrade. Now, Voice, I want to get your thoughts on the quick turnaround for Blanchfield and what is going to be her first UFC main event. And what are your thoughts on the replacement that is Jessica Andrade? How do they match up?
I mean, this is really an interesting fight on a number of different levels. As far as matching up with Andrade, I don't know. We'll see when they get in there. We know that she, being Blanchfield, is ranked number 10 right now. Now, from a ranking standpoint, fighting Andrade is a step down because she was getting ready to fight the number 1 ranked fighter in Talia Santos, who I believe, if she won convincingly, would have been right back in there with Bullet, because she's the one who has given on paper the strongest and the best fight at 125. No one has ever taken a card, and very few people have even taken a round from Bullet, where Santos lost by split decision. So I think if she had won and won decisively, that she'd be right in there to face whoever wins between Bullet and who's Bullet fighting? Alexa Grasso. So that was my thought process initially. It hasn't really changed as far as Andrade is concerned, because as you just stated, oh my goodness, she beat Lauren Murphy so bad, it was hard to watch. Like that last round was just like, please, like, ref, please stop the fight. She had her head swole up like Yana and Traychek's head swole up in her fight, her first fight with the champion Magnum, Jean-Wei Lee. I mean, it just was not looking good, and Lauren Murphy is too tough for her own good. So with another definitive win, I think Andrade will be right in there. I feel like, especially because of everything with the visas, that Andrade kind of knew. I mean, but for her to turn around after fighting less than a month ago, that's huge. You have to train to get your body to peak. Have you had the time to do that? No, you have not had the time. How is the weight cut going to go? You know, what all is going to happen? With Andrade, she's still behind Santos and Manon. But with everything that's going on with Santos and her corner, their visas weren't denied before. Now, why are the visas being denied? Is it going to be a problem for her to fight in the U.S.? We just don't know. So I think that Andrade has the ability to maybe jump up in the rankings with a solid win and be next up, because Bullet has run through everybody. I mean, Grasso is ranked number 5. Why is she fighting her versus fighting everyone else? Now, Manon is the only one that she has not fought. So I don't know why that didn't happen, but either way, it is what it is. For Blanchfield, again, this is different because she was facing someone in Santos who's got a very developed ground game. Uh, not that Bate Esteka does not, because she does. Jiu-jitsu is her first martial art, but she's known for swinging them things. You know, let's be honest. I talked about her fighting at bantamweight. Yeah, she's knocked out people at bantamweight. Uh, I was gonna say welterweight, but that she hadn't fought that high. Bantamweight, strawweight, and flyweight. So I think the approach to things is a lot different, and to do that in just a week's time, that says a lot. The only loss that Blanchfield has had in her career was to Tracy Cortez by split decision, and Tracy Cortez is in the UFC, you know, so that didn't take place in the UFC, but she's there, and a fight like with her, that would make sense. But they're really trying to give Blanchfield the push, which is the reason why she got this main event spot. Undefeated in her UFC run, she stopped the last 2 opponents via submission. Again, Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu is Andrade's first martial arts. So do I see a lot of grappling going on? No, I don't. And usually when you have 2 people who are strong in grappling, it's a stand-up fight. You know, but not that Blanchfield can't strike either. She picked up kickboxing and grappling and started competing in those tournaments around the age of 9, you know. So she was doing all 3 of these martial arts before she was 10 years old, and decided at 12, which was just 11 years ago, that this is what she wanted to do as a profession. This will show how viable a career move this is, because if she can beat Andrade, she's got much brighter roads ahead of her.
Yeah, that's definitely going to be great to see, especially, you know, you said that she hasn't lost. It's actually been since 2019. So if she's able to win this will definitely be a great outlook for her, especially on that short period of time of switching up with opponents. So that'll definitely be great. Now, wrapping up your combat sports weekend, we got 2 heavy-handed featherweight fighters here who are going to be clashing for the WBA featherweight title, as Wood is actually going to be defending his WBA title against Mauricio Lara. This is going to be taking place Saturday at the Motor Point Arena in Nottingham. Now, Lara was about that Wood actually chose last year after having his choice of fighters that he could take. Now, it was scheduled to take place last year, but it was rescheduled due to a bicep injury for the champ. The funny thing about this is it was not without issue, as recent comments by Lara was labeling Wood as a chicken for pulling out of the fight. So Wood has already stated that he is looking to not only quiet the challenger, but do it convincingly. He recently stated he thinks he can just come into Nottingham and plow through me, and he's confident that he will. Though it's just a one-off chance for me taking the right fight and taking it again when I pulled out. I'm here to fight and I'm here to win. There's a reason why I picked him. Voice. He literally is basically saying he handpicked him so he can knock him out. With that back and forth between the two, and them both being known for powerful punches, what's your take on this bout? And does Wood come in as an underdog after recovering from injury?
The injury is really the story of this fight, at least in the lead up. We know the fight was originally scheduled for September 24th. I forget when the fight got called, but he suffered a torn bicep, which normally takes 4 to 5 months to heal. Well, if that fight was supposed to happen in September and he pulled out, let's say you started training 3 months out. So counting back was August, July, June. So what you took until even if it was 3 months, you took until December to heal, and then now you got January and the middle of February training. That is just the time frame as far as healing takes, because it only takes 4 to 5 months to heal.
Mhm.
Has that been enough time if his bicep was actually torn? Lara said that he's scared and he faked the injury. That doesn't make a whole lot of sense, because if you faked it then and you were scared, then you would take a different fight. You wouldn't, take this fight. Now, to Bronco's credit, if that was the case, if he wasn't hurt, maybe he just decided, hey, I need a bit more time to get ready for the fight, so I'll fake the injury to have that. But overtraining is real, and that's a whole lot of time. It's not like, hey, we turned around and did it pretty quickly. No, it was supposed to be in September, and this is February, so that's about 5 months or so. That it doesn't. He doesn't seem scared to me. Now, what does concern me as far as Wood's mindset is concerned about this fight is that he said he's got maybe 3 to 4 fights left in his career. One of the things he definitely wants to do is fight at City Ground, which is where Man City plays. But if you're thinking in the fight game, this is not basketball, this is not football, this is not baseball, where last year St. Louis greats Yadier Molina and Albert Pujols went on a farewell tour, and people were giving them stuff, in the different cities and all that kind of stuff. You don't have a farewell tour in fight sports. Farewell tour means that you're fighting on regional cards against up and comers, and you're getting paid. They are paying you to put people in the building and to put over whoever is fighting you. That's that's the farewell tour for someone in combat sports. But anytime you're thinking about retirement, that's something that Dana White says, like, if you're thinking about it, you need to already do it. And the fact that you're thinking, I got about 3 or 4 more fights, is like, let's see how this works out. Now, with this fight being at featherweight, as I was saying before, Ray Vargas, when we were talking about the Nery and Crazy A fight, Ray Vargas just got the title a couple weeks ago, and there's a lot of unification that can take place, because there's no unified champion at this weight class, which means there are a lot of big opportunity fights available. Lara is Mexican, and Vargas and Lara on Mexican Independence Day, dog, that would be huge. Isaac Dogboe is out there, and Rosie Ramirez and Brandon Figueroa, they are all ahead of Lara for the WBO title, which is vacant. So there are a lot of opportunities available for both of these fighters. Bronco has come across the pond and upset the UK fans before when he knocked out IBF champ Josh Warrington, who's also still out there. So there's so many different things that are in play. Wood knows that Lara's dangerous, but he says he also makes a lot of mistakes, and he's going to meet him in the center and KO Bronco by the midway point of the fight. Yeah. If the man punches really hard, do you really want to go stand in the middle of the ring with him? If you know that, he has knocked out your fellow countrymen, don't you kind of want to play it a little differently? I would think so, but these are his words. And much like you said, boxing promoters can't be trusted, you can't trust much of what boxers say either. Just look at the best ever Floyd Mayweather as a great example of not doing what he said he would do in the lead up when he got in the ring.
Well, I mean, if you've only got a couple joints left in you, why not go all out and test the limits of life? Like, he only got a few left. I hear what you said about what Dana White said, but I don't see anything wrong with that. If you know there's an end game and you know that you're just about done, then those last 3-4 fights probably end up being the best in your career because you ain't really got to put too much into it beyond that. So it definitely presents an opportunity, but yeah, I'm not standing tall in the middle of a ring with somebody who I just know has powerful punches to just cave my chest in. Like, yeah, you gotta chase me a little bit. So, but that'll definitely be a great bout. Looking forward to actually seeing how that turns out. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is literally your combat sports for the weekend. Now, no Voice is disappointed that there's no Voices marquee matchup for this week. I'm confident that we're going to have one next week. We definitely appreciate you always tuning in with us. MTMV Sports, we literally are you. We are the fans. We converse and we do our research, and we just want to share our joy for what we are. MTMVPN is the website. Please make sure that you visit. The Voice has some great things on there from merchandise. Yes, Voice is big time now. He's got merchandise. The Voice has merchandise on there. There's great articles on there. The team is on there, so you can really go through and you can check whether it's your favorite sports, your favorite personality, and get more. Definitely check out the merch. We got some great shirts available for you. Also, be sure to check out Ozell brand. Those are some great shoes. And I just saw the cleats, the new cleats on the IG page, which are amazing, awesome. So, Voice, finish your words and take us out.
Until next time, fight the good fight.